Hi, everybody. It's Ryan from Pi Records, and I'm here with Daryl Gussin from the fantastic zine Razorcake. How are you, Daryl?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
So, how are things out in California?
Yep, Los Angeles.
Um, how's the weather out there? It sucks here.
This is like this is like the best time of the year in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
It's cool. It's not raining. Skies, but it did rain, so like everything's like kind of clean,
yeah,
and uh, and then it'll get really hot in a couple months, and it'll be horrible.
yeah. What is it? March is the hot season.
No, it gets hot around June or July,
Okay, okay. So
summertime.
let's dig right in, and I want to give people a little bit more insight into preparing each issue, uh, the day to day, the nuts and bolts, everything that goes along with making a pretty huge publication like you have. I guess we could start off by talking about maybe your contributors. Where do they come from? Who's able to contribute? And what are the different forms of contribution they can have?
Well, I mean, our contributors are just they're usually people who are just really stoked on the magazine. I mean, I know that's how I got involved because I was just reading the magazine and it was being run out of the same town I lived in, so I just felt like it was stupid not to like investigate further and see if I could be a part of it. But anyone has the opportunity to submit work, but I mean, we are kind of strict about quality that we like to see. But I mean, every 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 contributor started with just an email, you know, just a cold call email saying they want to be involved, and then we just go from there, see if it's a good match.
So you do a lot of independent bands and artists, but I notice there's also a lot of great advertisements of bands that are well known, but also bands that are on small labels. So you kind of give access to that, which is really good.
Yeah, I mean, we really try and keep our advertising as cheap as possible so anyone could have some kind of stake in the game. uh, we have like a monthly payment plan through PayPal, so if you can afford 22.50 a month, you can have your ad in every single issue. And
Oh, that's great.
I don't know, just getting your name out there.
And that's a big help to smaller labels like myself and others. Um, Tell me the first thing you do when you get ready for another issue. When you're ready to start the new issue. What is the first thing you do?
Send out an email to the ad list. I mean, we put the issue in the mail on around the 15th, and I give it a week, and then on the 22nd I send out my first solicitation for ads, and that's when the next issue officially starts.
Cool, cool. And how many how many articles specifically from the contributors, articles relating to the punk rock scene, rockabilly scene, surf scene. Have you ever took count of how much actually content goes into your magazine?
Like per issue.
Yeah.
um, well, there's only around like 4 or 5 features per issue, and then in the columns there's about a dozen different columns, and then several hundred reviews of records or CDs or tapes or zines or books or videos. I mean, it breaks down pretty simply. You just look at the table of contents,
Do you
then
where is the pressing done? Like where do you actually, and how fast after the zine do you actually get the physical copies to send out?
Well, we sent issue 121 to the printer yesterday, and they're going to deliver it a week from today.
Wow,
And then we start processing it.
it's pretty fast.
This is this is like our prep week for mail out,
So
printing
is
all
it?
everyone's label
You go ahead.
and all that stuff,
So
invoices.
what is the most challenging thing right now? Um, putting the zine together.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it's weird with before the pandemic, we would have like volunteers come in and help out, which was pretty normal. And then social distancing, we kind of just like keep the office clear rather than me and Todd. So we find ourselves doing just like others, like picking up all the tasks, and it's kind of just given us time to like refine our systems and just you know figure out new ways of doing things. And it's hard to say what the hard thing is because stuff only gets hard when something goes wrong, which like I have no way of predicting.
Yeah.
Like if everything went right all the time, I feel like we could do it without a hitch. But it's just like after 20 years, hopefully we're at this point.
Yeah. Um, so one of the things that interests me is not just the history behind zines, but how it gets put together. How time consuming and how much time, like basically how much time does it take to put into it?
2 months.
2 months
Yeah.
straight of one issue.
I mean, it's what we do. Just and it's like so 121 is getting delivered a week from today. Um, Pretty much all but one of the features for 122 is already logged in, edited. We're like fishing out there for photos and stuff. So we do work ahead and simultaneously work on things that are gonna come out in the future. But for every issue, there is a 2-month schedule that this is when this is due, and that's when that's due, and this is when we gotta do this and that and that. And it's just like just finding the schedule and not rushing ahead or falling behind uh, makes everything work better.
Awesome, awesome. So, would you say it's a two-man team right now?
No, I mean Razorcake is a freaking million people. Like it's me and Todd in the office. He's the editor in chief and I'm the managing editor. But it's it's a lot of people at the end of the day.
And how many subscribers would you say you have on a given month?
Uh, I don't know. This is a weird issue because so we do a June sub drive, right? Have you heard of this?
No, no.
Uh, yeah, every June, because a $7 subscription is usually for 6 issues, 1 year. But then for June, for a sub drive, we make it 10 issues long, and so you get it's like a good deal, I guess. And we have a goal that we set. We try and hit that goal, and we spam people and try and promote it on social media. And so the 2019 June sub drive just ran out with the last issue.
Wow,
So we had to cut a couple hundred subscribers who didn't resubscribe.
that's crazy.
But luckily everything just fluctuates in this strangely natural way, and it didn't really hit our draw. It didn't hurt our draw at all, really.
Good, good. Um,
So
how important is the social media aspect? Being as you're a physical zine, you're pretty much hitting the whole spectrum of audience. Uh, but how important is social media? People contacting you and getting the word out.
I mean, incredibly important. Just in terms, just thinking about the June sub drive, like that, like I feel like that's our main way of engaging with people is like Instagram, I guess, and uh, our email list. I don't know. It was something we were kind of like slow to really throw ourselves into, and it took the help of a lot of different people, a lot of different people's knowledge of it. But I feel like we've hit our stride with that, and I mean it's definitely continues to be a lot of work, but it's an invaluable resource at this point with the donation drive at the end of the year and then the June sub drive.
And I imagine aside of time, this is well capable of sustaining itself.
What do you mean?
Meaning like some people that put out a label that puts out an artist or an artist that puts out music, they have to spend their own money and it's not sure whether it's going to sell or not. From day to
Right,
day, I mean, is the magazine self-sustaining, whereas you don't have to keep dumping your own money into it.
right. Yeah, I mean, shout out to the advertisers through all these years who have uh, who have supported the magazine. Shout out to the subscribers. Like it all comes back to those two revenue sources being able to keep us afloat.
I've always I was in the 90s and the 80s. I was big into maximum rock and roll, and that's kind of gone. But
Right,
this is similar in a lot of ways. Not the same, but similar, but done very I would say more professionally. Would you agree with that?
no, I mean, um, I'm not going to talk shit about Maximum Rock and Roll on the internet, but
that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I love maximum rock and roll.
yeah, me too, and I miss it. And at the end of the day, they put out twice as many magazines on a yearly basis than we did, which will always blow my mind. Um, but it is definitely like a different aesthetic.
Yeah. So this issue, how many reviews would you say you had? Like, how many people send you stuff, and what gets chosen, what doesn't?
Uh, well, all we ran all the record reviews this time, which is kind of uncommon these days. Uh, there was some of the book reviews had to get trimmed because there wasn't enough space, but only a couple. I don't know. Sometimes it just works out. Sometimes people there's there's not really a consistent number of anything, but we always make it work out.
Awesome. Uh, is there anything you'd like to promote coming up, or get people like drawn to your social media or your website, that something extra you might like want to talk about?
I mean, I don't have anything coming up. I don't know who has anything coming up these days.
Right.
Uh, I mean, keep your eye on that June 2021 sub drive if you're
Cool.
looking for a deal.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Daryl, for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for dropping a line.